depriving yourself of sleep. Anytime you don't sleep, you are doing a lot of harm to your body, to your creativity. You are depriving yourself of happiness, of productivity, and even long life. You are most welcome to another exciting review of the 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. And today we are going to learn why sleep is essential, why you should not deprive yourself of sleep. And not just sleep, you must sleep enough. And also not oversleep. Very, very important. So the 5 a.m. Club grasps the essentialness of sleep. That is what we're learning today. And that is just a moment, chapter 14 of the 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. We all know that sleep is important, but for some reasons, many of us, or let me say some of us, don't sleep enough. And it is for this reason that Mr. Riley Stone took the artist and the entrepreneur to a graveyard, a cemetery, because he wanted to prove a point. He took them to a cemetery called catacombs, where the Romans buried their dead. And this cemetery has been existing, from the 2nd to the 5th century. The Romans have been burying their dead there. And while they were there, the spellbinder came. So the spellbinder told them, it took them through why sleep is essential, why you should not deprive yourself of sleep, especially in this age and time where we're all used to technology, where everybody is busy on one device or another. Right. The reason why it took them there is because he wanted them to know that the people who are there, the inhabitants of this cemetery, are now in endless slumber. But science now confirms that one of the primary ways we bring on an early death is by not sleeping enough. Because when you die, you are going to sleep forever. Maybe, at least, you don't have the opportunity to be on earth again, to want to nap, let me just nap for a while, let me just sleep for a short while. No, this one, you're going to sleep for as long as you are permitted to sleep. Nobody is going to disturb you, right? So even while you're on earth, it is expected that you start practicing how to sleep. You start learning how to sleep. You start sleeping little by little, because you don't want the lack of sleep to lead you to your early grave. We've had cases where they say, oh, somebody slumped and died. Somebody is at work, died. There is even a very painful case that I remember. A Nigerian guy living abroad in the UK. He just went to work and then got back from work that same day. He decided to rest and did not wake up. So it was discovered that he has been working extra hours, shifts upon shifts. He was not sleeping enough. He was not resting enough. Sometimes we feel that we need to make a lot of money. Oh, I need to go to work. I need to hustle hard. And you are doing more harm to your body than good. Because at the end of the day, you make all the money, but you don't have the good health to enjoy it. So of what use is that? Then there needs to be a great balance between work and rest. Sleep. You need to sleep. In case you are not sleeping enough, you really need to sleep. Let me offer some insight on why it is not only the calibration of the first hour between 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. every day that is important. The last hour of the day is also very, very important for you to start winding down so that you can have enough sleep. There is a preparation time towards when you say, oh, I'm almost ready to sleep. If you don't do that ritual, then you may not have a good sleep. You may not enjoy your sleep. You may just be rolling from one side of your bed to another. And good sleep is essential for your productivity. So you need to manage the last hour of your evening if you are really serious about getting premium results, if you are serious about living a happy life. If you don't sleep enough, there is no way you can execute the 20-20-20 formula that we learned previously, when you need to wake up by 5 a.m. and from 5 to 5:20 a.m. you do intense exercise where you sweat, and from 5:20 to 5:40 you need to pray, you need to meditate and all of that, and 5:40 to 6 a.m. you need to reflect, listen to podcasts, and make sure that you are ready for the day. If you are not sleeping properly, there is no way that you're going to maximize your productivity. The internet and social media and the widespread absorption with our devices are fueling much of our sleep deprivation, the lack of sleep. You are still on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube at 11 p.m., 12 a.m., 2 a.m. You are just scrolling. You just can't get your hands off it. You just can't discipline yourself to say, no, I've watched enough, I've scrolled enough. Now let me go and sleep. It has become like an addiction for many people. Research is now confirming that the blue light emitted from our tools of technology reduces the amount of melatonin in our bodies. Melatonin is the chemical that informs your body that you need to get some sleep. So every time you are exposed to technology, melatonin is not activated because your body thinks that, well, it's still daytime, you're still very active, it's not yet time to sleep. And so the amount of melatonin in your body is going to be reducing gradually. The more you use your devices, the more you're addicted to technology. That is why if you are so addicted to technology, you find it so hard to sleep because you just want to keep scrolling. And the exposure to this emission, the ray of light from your phone, from your device, is really, really impacting on your body, your health. But because of this addiction is greater than your level of discipline. So you really cannot help it. And even your cognitive ability is diminishing every day. It's not functioning very much again. Not thanks to all kinds of AI tools that we now even have. To even think and make two complete sentences for some people has become very, very difficult. Because any little thing, you run to ChatGPT, you run to Perplexity, you run to DeepSeek, you run to all these AI tools, you know them, right? So it is not something that is helping. We can go on and on about this. The light from your devices activate photoreceptors called intrinsically photosensitive retinal ganglion cells that limits melatonin production and negatively affects your oh my God. These are big words. Circadian rhythm. But the bottom line is that melatonin reduces in your body. So your body does not even get that signal again that, hey, it's time to sleep because everywhere is bright. Light from your phone is on your face, is in your body. Your body is feeling the light and the heat and everything. It's a big deal, right? When we don't sleep enough, not only is it fiercely difficult to get up early, but a number of other highly damaging things impair your productivity and minimize your performance, along with reducing your happiness and eroding your health. You feel tired. I got to work this morning and one of my colleagues was sleeping. His face was swollen. What happened? Didn't you have a restful weekend? No, I didn't sleep well. It wasn't productive. He wasn't himself. Like for the major part of the morning, he wasn't productive at all. That is what you do. That is what happens when you don't sleep well. You cannot cheat nature. I'm sure you've heard that over and over again. And there's something called HGH, human growth hormone. It is produced in the pituitary gland of the brain. It is important for healthy tissues in your body. It is important for creativity, for productivity, for your happiness, for so many things. So if you don't produce enough HGH in your body, it really affects your system. Some cells in your body will start shutting down. They are not going to function properly. And the more the HGH reduces, the more you see that even your cognitive ability is not functioning as it should. If you are deprived of sleep, there's no way you attend a meeting and you are going to be 100% active. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm a doctor of philosophy. Right. So the main point is that while HGH is released when you exercise in the morning, between the 5:20 a.m. and 5 a.m. and 5:20 a.m. of your victory hour, HGH is released, but only 25% of it is released. 75% of HGH is released when you sleep. So you see why sleep is very, very, very important. So to maximize the process of your brain to produce enough human growth hormone, HGH, you need to sleep. And science recommends that for you to say you've had a good sleep, you must have slept for 7.5 hours. 7.5 hours. And if you sleep for more than 9 hours, you are oversleeping. And it is also very dangerous. It can shorten your life. You sleep for not less than 7.5 hours to prolong your life, to be productive, to be creative. And then don't sleep for more than 9 hours. Why would you even want to sleep for more than 9 hours out of 24 hours that you have in a day? That's sleeping for more than 1/3 of your day. Right. If you still sleep for 8 hours, it's still fine. Some research will say, okay, 8 hours. Some would even say 7 hours. So now let's say between 7 and 8 hours, for me, I think that it is good sleep, 7 to 8 hours, not less than 7 hours. If you sleep for less than 7 hours, then you are not sleeping enough. And sleeping for more than 9 hours, you are also going to be becoming weak, redundant, and all of that. So you really want to maintain a good balance. You're having the right amount of sleep. Very important for your productivity, right? And don't forget that everything you are learning, make sure that you are teaching to as many people that you can teach this to. Make sure that you are passing on this knowledge. Because some people feel like, oh, my body is strong, I don't need enough sleep. In fact, I heard somebody who said that he doesn't sleep for more than 4 hours in a day. So maybe his body has adjusted to it and all of that. We know that to every rule, there is an exception. Some people may just have an exceptional grace in one area. I know a man of God, yes, a popular man of God in Nigeria. He said he doesn't sleep for more than 4 hours. And he clocked 70 years old recently. So for somebody like that, he has a special grace. He has a special covenant with God. You really don't want to compare yourself to that kind of person if you don't know the kind of covenant that he has with God, the kind of body that he has, how he has been training himself from time. Somebody like me, if I don't sleep enough, I feel it. And I'm sure that a lot of people feel it too. So let's quickly move to how you can have an amazing day. You have slept well. Now you want to have an amazing day so that every hour of the day is maximized. Every hour of the day is put to good use. Yes, you know what I'm talking about, right? Well, so every hour of the day is put to good use. 4 to 4:45 a.m. That is the optimal time to rise. You start preparing yourself. Your alarm is about to ring, and then you wake up. We've already learned the victory hour, 5 to 6 a.m. What you do in between. You start with an intense exercise so that you wake up your body. You want to sweat, not a gentleman kind of exercise. You sweat. 5:20 to 5:40. You meditate, you pray, you journal, you practice gratitude. You communicate with your God. 5:40 to 6 a.m. You want to read or listen to a podcast, audio book, read your Bible. Then 6 to 8 a.m. If you have children, I'm sure by now your children will be awake. You want to prepare them for school. You want to have a family prayer time. This is not the time for social media or news or anything like that. You don't want to start your day with addiction to technology. Then 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. This is the moment where you do serious work, where you concentrate your energy. This is when many people are most active. This is not the time to be frolicking with your phone, scrolling endlessly on social media. No, push your gadgets away if you can. If your work is not related to gadgets as such, you are not a content creator, you are not a social media marketer, you are not, you have no business on your phone or social media, then this is the time you want to put in some world-class work, high-value work. Because from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. is low-value work, low-value activity. By now, if you have really maximized your money very well, by now, you can do the low-value activity. Maybe you want to check your email, you want to reply to messages, and things that really, really don't demand high brain tasks as such. All right. So 5 to 6 p.m. maybe you are trying to get home, and there are some times that we're also going to learn in subsequent chapters, right? You want to get home, you want to bond with your family. Now you want to have your food, your dinner. Maybe you want to catch up on news what has been happening during the day, maybe for 30 minutes, 1 hour, you want to read, and all of those things. It's actually your life. You can decide to do whatever you want to do with it, but the essence is that you plan out your life, you plan out your day, you plan out your time. You don't just do things randomly as they come. If you do, you will not have time for some important things like sleep, because some of these activities will be encroaching into your sleep time. And if you cheat sleep, it's going to tell on your body, right? So nobody can tell you exactly how to live your life. You know how you've been living your life. If you need adjustment, you can start making adjustments, but this is just like a guide. In some families, by 6 p.m. they are done with dinner. Some by 8 p.m. they are done with dinner. Some who live in Lagos, maybe by 9 p.m. they are still in traffic. They won't get home until 10 p.m. That is where they want to eat and sleep. They have to be up by 4 again over time. But wisdom is profitable to direct. You just need to find a way around it, because your body is not going to say, hey, you live in Lagos, you live here, you live in New York, and all of that. There's just some general things that apply to all of us. Yeah. So make your day amazing. An amazing day creates an amazing week. Then from an amazing week, you have an amazing month, you have an amazing year, you have an amazing lifetime. And the good thing about this is that once you get this habit installed, the habit of waking up at 5 a.m., reading your Bible, doing exercise, sleeping enough, you move, you get integrated into this habit. It's no more a struggle, because your body gets used to it, and then it becomes like your second nature. It becomes like your life. So these are things that you need to imbibe intentionally. Don't forget the 66 days minimum that we learned. For you to install a new habit, you need a minimum of 66 days. So you really want to put yourself under this kind of discipline to build those habits that will be very, very useful to your life, right? This is where we're going to end today. Don't forget that small habits practiced consistently can yield staggering results, big results than anyone could ever imagine. So don't ever say, oh, no, I'm not used to it. Start doing it little by little. Start building that discipline. If you are not used to waking up at 5 a.m., start by waking up at 5:30. From 5:30, 5:20, 5:10. Then before you know it's 5 a.m. It is the little things that you practice daily, consistently, that actually make you who you are. So you want to become that kind of person that you're going to be proud of. You get it, right? Yes. Thank you so much for joining me on today's review. Don't forget to like this video, share your comments with me, and please subscribe to this channel in case you are here to subscribe. I remain Olaide Agbaje, also known as First Lady, and on this channel, I inspire you to live intentionally. This is a book we are currently reviewing, The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. Come together again as we review chapter 15, titled The 5 a.m. Club is Mentored on the 10 Tactics of Long Life Genius. I'll see you tomorrow by God's grace. Until then, be intentional. Bye. You're welcome.